Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll give it a few minutes and then get started. Hi, Jennifer. We'll give one more minute and I think we can get started. Okay. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Fashion in Focus, AI-Powered Retail. In a world where consumer expectations shift faster than seasonal trends, fashion brands are under increasing pressure to get the right product to the right place at the right time. Today, we'll explore how AI can help you do exactly that, optimizing planning, stock, and assortment with greater accuracy and agility. We'll be sharing expert insights to help your businesses harness the power of data and AI without losing the creative essence that makes retail unique. Hi, I'm Tatum Human. I'm a senior manager at BIOS with over 14 years of project management experience, managing complex transformation programs across a large array of sectors, including retail and luxury fashion. I'm originally from South Africa, as you can hear from my accent. I've also lived in the UK and Australia, and earlier this year relocated to Boston to support BIOS Management's US operations. To help you navigate today's session, here's a quick look at what we'll be covering. We'll wrap up with a short Q&A at the end, so please feel free to pop your questions into the chat. In the interest of privacy, your questions will only be visible to us, not to everybody else who's joining us here today. And if we don't manage to answer your question today, we will get back to you over email. There'll also be a short feedback form at the end, so please look out for that. And to kick things off, I have the great pleasure in introducing you to today's speakers who will be guiding us through our discussion. Let's start with Alessandro. Alessandro is the CEO of BIOS Management with over 15 years of experience at the intersection of finance, technology, and strategy, particularly in the fashion retail industry, where he leads digital transformation and data-driven planning initiatives. He has supported global fashion brands in optimizing financial and operational planning, bringing vision, structure, and innovation to a fast-evolving sector. Next, we have Eduardo. Eduardo is a manager at BIOS Management and an expert in developing planning solutions for the fashion and retail industry. He specializes in the design and implementation of advanced systems for assortment, optimization, and forecasting, helping brands make data-driven decisions. Eduardo also leads the development of next-generation AI and computer vision technologies, creating intelligent systems for image recognition, automated data access, and process automation tailored to business use cases. Last but not least, we have Sarah. Sarah is the co-founder of WeLab and brings over 10 years of experience in merchandise and supply chain planning, with particular focus on the fashion and luxury sector. She has partnered with global fashion brands to redesign their merchandise planning processes, embedding industry best practices and benchmarking to drive performance. Sarah's work is grounded in deep domain knowledge and a passion for helping brands evolve their planning strategies in an ever-changing market. And some quick introductions on where we're all from today in bias management and WeLab. Bias management has been helping companies transform for over 20 years with a strong focus on enabling data-driven decision-making across fashion and retail. Our consultants have delivered over 1,800 projects globally, combining speed, flexibility, and deep industry expertise to help brands unlock the full value of their data. From AI-powered demand forecasting to intelligent planning and ESG reporting, we help fashion businesses future-proof their operations with tailored digital and advisory solutions. And WeLab is a management consulting firm, specializing in the fashion and luxury market. They support clients and partners with process design, change management, and functional application design. WeLab works with many leading luxury brands, bringing industry benchmarks and best practices across two core areas: BI planning platforms for an end-to-end merchandise and supply chain planning, analytics and intelligent platforms powered by AI for forecasting, pricing, and data analysis. So with that, we've set the stage for what promises to be a really insightful session. Now I'll hand over to Alessandro, our CEO at Bias Management, who will be moderating today's discussion. Alessandro, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tatum. Hi, everyone. So it's a real pleasure for me to be with all of you today. What we'll show you today in this session is we'll try to show you how to move beyond what is the AI hype, but really to focus on what actually drives the success, how to implement AI projects. We'll talk mainly about three topics around AI in fashion and retail. First of all, we'll focus on the use cases. What are the technologies? We'll talk with our experts, Sarah and Eduardo, about this. Then we'll discuss systems and the importance of data. The third part will be, okay, now we defined the technologies, we defined the importance of data, how to implement and how to succeed in the implementation of AI in your company. Before starting with that, let me start with a short poll. So let me run it, sorry, okay. In order to understand from you and also to address then the webinar in that direction, what are your top priorities for the AI adoption? You should have seen a poll available with 5 answers. So please try answer. I see that some answers are already coming. We defined 5 possible answers, but of course, please choose the option that best reflects what are your priorities, but also at the same time, feel free to use the chat to add further use cases that are more important for you. Of course, we had to set a limit to the number of answers. Potentially, we can talk about hundreds of. So the first one was smarter planning and sales target optimization. Then the second of the 5 answers that we identified as more important for our customers, for our view of the market, is the focus on the product assortment, so enabling it to become customer-centric. Third one is the replenishment process and the automatic stock replenishment on that. Fourth is the AI applications in store, that to enhance the user experience, the customer experience. And the fifth one is the use of AI to drive strategic insights. We can wait a couple of seconds more. I already see, and you should be able to see also the results, that there are a couple, at least 3 responses that seems to be the ones with the highest priority. Especially one seems to be the smarter planning and sales target optimization is the answer where we got more responses. So let me ask Sarah if your view of the market confirms this, or you have different vision, but please try to cover also the other aspects, which I know they are also important.
Well, yes, I think the answers definitely match with the market trends we're seeing. So I think that most of the fashion and luxury brands are really now trying to move to a more customer-centric view and planning. And so starting, for example, with the first point, which was the most voted, so the smarter planning and sales target optimization, is something that can really give some insights and allow brands to predict the consumer behavior, so refining the forecast, set more precise sales targets, and really tailor then the planning according to the clientele. And this can be done through AI-driven insights within the CRM. Another point linked to this is so AI is also in some way revolutionizing the assortment planning, because you can analyze customer data. Brands can really curate store assortment, which is tailored to local preferences, and ensuring also that each boutique can offer the products that resonate with the clientele. On those two topics, so many brands have done also some POCs or some case studies, for example, on the assortment planning, more customer-centric. A brand, so Jaeger-LeCoultre, tried within 3,000 retail locations in the US this approach. So they really tried through the CRM to get which were the preferences of the customers for each location, and really tried to tailor assortment. And they were able to reduce significantly the inventory. Another topic which I've seen is one of the top answers is the replenishment, so the automated replenishment. And this for sure through AI so we could have agents that are, automating the replenishment and ensuring that stock levels are maintained efficiently without manual intervention. Another topic which was not voted, but I think is something that...
I'm a bit surprised it's the least voted,
exactly.
because from customer point of view, it seems the most interesting to use AI in the in-store. But, yeah.
Exactly. And many brands are start investing on this. So especially through the category management. So using AI cameras or RFID tracking to map the store hot zones, providing insights on the customer movements. And this could really help in also, for example, suggesting store managers where to place a product to optimize and increase the sales and the performances. So that's strange. It's something strange that it was not so voted. And I think, all those advancements are really relying on so cutting edge technology behind the scene.
Yeah, actually, I'm not so surprised that it's not being so much voted, the AI application in store, because basically the technologies that are enabling that part of the revolution are basically born like neither 1 year ago, and they are still growing in this period. So probably a lot of us are used to talk about forecasting and all the algorithms that do forecasts.
Yeah,
and so
we'll talk after about the hype in the different technologies.
Exactly.
In AI, so.
But the new trends and what we are seeing that the businesses are ready to go and they are already trying is the fact that the new technologies, and I'm just picking 3 of the technologies that Sarah basically explained from a business side, are ready to go. So one of them is we start from the last one, the computer vision. So basically there are existing technologies nowadays that lets you analyze and get value from offline data. So basically, you may know where to put a product, which is the best place where to put the product, so that to increase selling. Or you could also get data from the people that are neither inside the store, but with a camera that in front of your store, it's passing a lot of men 30 years old. So maybe you can also go with the target marketing on the windows of your store, or you could merge those data with also classical forecasting data that you can use in order to do automatic replenishment and all the stuff that are more classical. But you have an amount of new kind of information that are unused, but you are owner of that information if you know how to get it. And another way is to find a new methodology to interact with the existing data that you already have in your company. So it's through natural language, ChatGPT and all those kind of stuff that enables you to speak directly with your data. So you could ask, which is the bestseller product in Milan last month, and you can also access through the normal screen that you have in your softwares, but now you are going faster with these new technologies. And another way of seeing generating AI applied to this kind of business, it's a bit tricky nowadays, but it's also merging with the creative side of the business, of the fashion retail side. So some brands are already using it, not just to write email with a better polite email with ChatGPT, but also to maybe try the best way to do a marketing campaign with a good, with a good sentence, with a good catching image, and those kind of stuff. Actually, like 2 weeks ago, Google showed to the Google I/O stage an event that is one of the most important, let's say, moments in which Google shows off all its own new products. It showed a new way of, let's say, doing supplying of these kind of goods. And he showed us, for example, the thing you're seeing in the screen, in which there is a brand new way to try clothes. So you just upload an image of yourself and you pick the clothes you want to try, and then you have already a new way of seeing yourself with a potential new clothes that you could buy. So as you may see, the technologies are here and they are enabling a lot of different new way of approaching.
Yeah, there are actually lots of different applications of AI. I think above all the different application, one word that you mentioned a lot is data. I think this is very important, because behind all of these application, of course, there's data, and that's very important. So I would like now to move to a second poll to you, because I know how important data is in companies, and ask you, what do you find most challenging about using your company, but also the external data effectively? Is it the integration of data that is in different places, not easy to integrate? Is it lack to the fact that you don't have the tools to analyze and to use this data properly, or rather the fact of not being able to access those data? So you have, but you cannot access the data in an intuitive way, or rather linked to the decision-making process. Again, that's an important topic, the data, because I think that above all, understanding the importance of AI application is fundamental, but not having or not being ready in terms of data, in terms of how and where to get those data from, and which kind of data, and how to use it properly, and what is the right granularity to use it, it's very important. So, Sarah, I would like to ask you, we all talk about data, about the huge amount of data that we all have available. but how can we use it properly and where can we find it?
So I think that the main problem we have now with data and with accessing on those data, and I'm seeing it also through the answers we are receiving, is that luxury brands are really sitting on a vast amount of data, but they're really fragmented, sometimes inconsistent, and usually also maintained manually. So first problem, I think, is data silos. So different departments have a lot of data that are not communicating. So for example, the CRM has the customer data, the ERP has the inventory data, marketing platform can track engagement, but they're not in many companies really integrated. And so before
where are all
starting,
those data? And
yes, exactly. So sometimes on Excel,
okay.
sometimes are on platforms. I think a lot of brands are now investing on creating some data lakes or anyway centralized platform where they can get some data that are centralized there. So one of the main AI usage I'm seeing is that especially on marketing and on merchandising as well, we have now new tools on market intelligence, for example, that are really providing insights, seeing at the competition, seeing how the competitors are placing the products in the website, which is the assortment, which is the correct price range that you can also have on your products to stay ahead with the competition. But those, for example, usually come with like newsletters and are not really then integrated within systems.
Yeah, and can AI help on that? It does.
Actually, it can. And in fact, through technologies that we nowadays have, we can also tackle the problem of data quality that is obviously, as Sarah was mentioning, a problem. It's not just the amount of data, but also the quality of that amount of data, because if you put bad data in whichever system, if it's a complicated AI system or just an Excel, for sure 100% bad input means bad output. So in fashion and retail, there is a lot of bad inputs. Are actually, as my experience, the data are not always consistent and available, and so there could be a lot of problem. But because there are also a lot of things to be managed and to be.
If any of our customers is connected in this webinar, we're not talking about
it's
you.
not you at all. No, I'm speaking about the others. But actually, no, not so many people thinks, but the businesses are going that way, and also the big companies like OpenAI and all those kind of companies that are on the frontier are using AI to help themselves to have better data. So it means that you can make an AI to do your job, to clean data, to make it more, let's say, coherent with the existing business. You can also do AI and make some attributes extraction. So it means maybe an application that we are seeing is you put just an image of your product, and it's not required that you have to insert the color, the logo dimension, the fabric, the whatever of each of the columns that you may have in your Excel or in your system. You just let the AI do their job, and then maybe you just go doing the details on some little points. And this is one of the big applications we're seeing. Another one is that a lot of companies, but not only fashion and retail, but also BIOS and whichever the company is sitting on the biggest amount of data that are emails, PDF, Words, Excels, everything that is on Google Drive or SharePoint. That is a huge amount, all the calls that has been now transcribed and all this stuff. There is an amount of data that is not at all used, because maybe you use one PDF or one Excel for 1 month, and then it's V1, V2, V3, and it's forgotten in the background of the SharePoint. But now you have access to it. You can have agents through you which you can talk with, and you can access to specific information that are stored somewhere you may not neither know that they are there, but there are systems that now enables you to tackle and to access those information, and it's crucial because it make it so easier and faster to work, to do the repetitive jobs, and to focus on the things that brings more value.
Yeah, okay, so trying to summarize what you said, what you both said, is data is important, it's very important. The quality of data is fundamental, but it's also true that even if the quality is not the best or it's not ready yet, even in that case, we can use AI to improve that. So AI can be used for forecasting, for example, but then you need a good input. But at the same time, if the input or the quality of the input data is not so good, you can still use AI applications to improve this quality. So have the data and get the data ready in both cases and in both situations. That's I think a very good point. So even if you know that the quality of your data is not ready yet, that doesn't mean that it's impossible to start with AI within your company.
Yeah, exactly.
You should do, and you should start. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, now I'd like to take a step back, and we've discussed two main topics. So the different use cases in AI, what are the options, what is available on the market, what is already ready in the market, and we discussed about the importance of data. There are two pillars in the process of implementing AI. But now, next question would be, okay, where I start from? What do I do? What do I have to do? How do I implement an AI project in my company? And there, I would like to start from a Gartner research that says that more than 50%, so that's the bad news, more than 50% of AI projects fail to deliver what was the expected results. And there are quite many reasons of that. I like the Gartner hype cycle. I don't know if all of you are familiar with that, but that's a really helpful tool because it helps to understand the typical journey of an emerging technology, from what is the early excitement to the maturity of the technology up to the productivity phase. So we know that AI technologies, they advance, they change, they evolve, but many are still maturing. So being able to identify the level of maturity of each of the AI solution available on the market is important to really use and start at the right time with the AI solution. Of course, there is the quality of the data, the maturity of the company. So finding that right mix between maturity of the company, maturity of the technology, it's very important. And then I think another fundamental point is the impact of the technology in the organization. So find the right way to not to overinvest in technologies that maybe are still in the hype phase, but being able to find exactly where to start, when is the right moment to start, and what to invest on. So this is the final thought, and I'd like to discuss this with Sarah and with Edoardo. So as I said, we know many AI projects fail. So what is the right approach to ensure success? Is there a way to ensure success fully, or what have you seen based on your experience?
Yeah, probably the thing is to change the mindset and to accept the fact that you're gonna fail. So the fail is part of the learning process. And nowadays, well, it's different, a different kind of fail. If you failed like 10 years ago or more, I don't know, because I wasn't working more than 10 years ago, but if you failed an SAP project, maybe you weren't so much happy. An SAP project, it was a huge investment, a huge amount of effort that all the company was putting in. And failing an SAP project, it wasn't so funny. It's not funny neither today, but failing an AI project, it's different. And I think that Sarah will talk about it on a business point of view, but on a technology point of view, the technologies are available to anybody. Anybody can go to chatgpt.com and talk with a generative AI, and everybody is already working with. Also, if maybe your boss doesn't know, but your colleague is working with it, it's working with ChatGPT and whatever to write email, to do analysis on Excel. So the technology is going the other way around. It's going bottom up, not top down like it was an SAP project. So the mindset, it should be different.
Okay, so we're saying that there is no way to avoid failure.
No, not at all.
But still find the right way.
Not on my point of view, at least.
I think we just may have some little suggestions just to how to approach maybe a project. Yes, how to minimize the failure risk. And first of all, I think that most of the projects of AI that are failing because the scope is too broad. So first point, I think, is you should start with specific use case. Maybe, for example, if you are a multi-brand company, start with only one brand on one region just to test a POC. And before starting, really try to define some KPIs that are tracking the benefit that you're expecting. Because so some technologies are also cheap, so you can also invest less. Some are more expensive. And so unless you have a measurable KPI that is saying, okay, the return on investment I have is this, is also in some ways hard to start, because you are doing an investment, but you don't know what you're getting back out of it. And the second point, I think, is the organizational resistance. So when deploying a project and talking with planners, so sometimes they would like to have the same manual precision they have through AI. But I think we should get to a trade-off, because AI is balancing the manual precision with efficiency. So you can, for example, so it may not match the exact precision of your manual planning and manual replenishment, but it enables that you can real-time adjust your planning based on the demand fluctuations. So the key is also to find the right balance between, where speed is critical, but while maintaining a human oversight for the high-stakes decisions.
I think there are quite many key takeaways that you both just expressed. So it's a matter of finding the right use cases, a matter of not trying to do everything at once, but rather work in small pieces. That I agree completely. That's to me fundamental to first of all minimize the risk, but also enable the user adoption of these technologies. If you want to change everything, that's valid for AI, that's valid for, I think, all the implementation of any solution, any change management in the technology. So not trying to completely change everything because it won't work. And also the risk of doing that it becomes too high. So yeah,
it becomes like a catastrophic failure as opposed to one little thing, right? And I see it as a project manager all the time. MVP, it's what we love to say.
And that's valid even more for AI use cases, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, guys. I think, thank you all for your questions. We have time now to answer just 3. So I will start with Sarah and kind of following on from what Alessandro was just saying, what we were just talking about. So how do you manage internal resistance to change, and what is management's role in AI adoption?
Okay, so this is a tough question, and I think it's something really relevant. And what I would suggest is for the management to really be involved in defining the scope and the use cases. So really try to find the use cases that are really bringing a benefit over the company. Then, as I was saying, try to find the best KPIs that can represent what the technology is then giving you back and what are the achievements that you could have with the technology. And sometimes we also suggest, when the organization is big, to take also a sort of readiness assessment. So after defining use case and the KPIs, we have a template that we use to assess the preparedness of the company, and especially of the end users that will use that project. And these can really help the management to understand where are the risks and where the change management effort should be focused on.
Yeah. And again, as a project manager, the projects where I've been part of where there has been the best success is the change adoption is coming right from the top, from the steering committee, from the sponsors, and getting pushed down or supported down.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
It's very, very important.
I think that's fundamental. At the same time, also showing all the users that will in the end make use of the technology, they need to understand and to see a value in that. So being able to measure, to show it, that's so important.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, our next question today was, what quick wins can a brand achieve in the next 3 to 6 months with AI? Eduardo, you were originally talking about the new things that were coming out. Can you talk to us a bit about this?
Yeah, but I talk about basically at the beginning two technologies, and I think they are the fastest to be implemented, and also actually the cheapest. One of it is just to talk to have a technology that enables you to talk with your data. It's just have ChatGPT, but speaking with your data. So it doesn't mean that you have to push your data to ChatGPT, but you bring something similar to ChatGPT in your environment, so that it's easier for you to think, to do brainstorming, to do, okay, I want to get this information. You don't have to think about, okay, I have to go in that screen and push that button and do that filter and take that file from that folder. You just talk, and then someone for you will just go bring the information where the information should be and deliver it to you in a natural language with a bullet point, with some headers, with some formatting. It's so much easier, so much faster to go and to focus on the really thing you want to focus on. That is not how I get that information, but I get that information and I want to think about it and to do my job. And so basically this is a chatbot or an agent, generative AI agent. This is the technology, and it's super fast to be implemented with the technologies that we have today. Obviously 1 year ago it wasn't so fast. And another one that is similar is the one related to the image recognition. We just been like 1 week ago in an event dedicated to AI in Bologna, next to the supercomputer Leonardo. It was just in the next room, and there was a lot of companies pushing on AI, generative AI technologies related to the image recognition. So it means that you could just have a technology that extract attributes for your images, or just like a screen on your window of the store, just showing the best product that you could sell to a man of 30 years or a woman of 50 years. And that's ready to go. It's just a matter of picking one screen, picking one camera, push it, pick there, and you go. These are super fast and super measurable also.
That's amazing. I remember when it was maybe DALL-E couldn't do hands, and now GPT can spin up whole models doing a catwalk. It's amazing how quickly the technology has advanced.
Yeah. Sam Altman said last week that we are using the worst ChatGPT version of our that nowadays. So it will be just better and faster. So we're there.
I refer to ChatGPT as my best friend. Okay, and final question for today is one for you, Alessandro. How can a company understand if it's ready to implement AI solutions?
That's a bit of a summary of today's webinar, I think. So yeah, I would say the first thing I would evaluate while doing this maturity assessment is my data ready? So if it's not, I should evaluate AI solution that helps improving the accuracy of my data. If I feel it is, then I can evaluate other use cases where I need the quality of the data to be very good, because otherwise the outcome will not be good enough. Then, as Sarah said before, the company culture, the openness to change, that's fundamental. That doesn't mean that if the company maybe is not that open to change, I can't do anything, but maybe I need to find the right use case that applies and that really simplifies the implementation of this solution. Then the third one, but to me that's fundamental in any AI implementation use case, is the ability to define KPIs and to measure those KPIs. I need to know what will be the benefit of my AI implementation. I need to measure it. Otherwise, the management will not will not approve it, or will not further invest in that. And the users, the people that in the company will not adopt it fully. So I really need to be able to measure it and to see what is my ROI on the implementation. That's why on every AI project that we implement, we say, okay, this is the target ROI, these are the KPIs I want to measure, and then we'll measure afterwards and after 6 months. That's very important, and that's something that every company that implements AI solutions should do. Yeah, I'd say that's mostly it. Of course, you need someone who is the internal sponsor of these of each application. So as we said before, I completely agree. The suggestion is start small, start with more than one use case, measure how they're going, focus on the ones that are effective in the company, in the specific company, and for that specific business. That's my suggestion.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody for submitting your questions as well. So thank you all for joining us today. We hope you found the session valuable and that it sparked some ideas on how AI can support smarter, more agile planning in fashion retail. Before we wrap up, quick heads up. We'll be in New York at the end of the month for an in-person event with Golden Goose, where we'll shift the focus to finance planning. If that's an area of interest, we'd love to see you there. Please do get in touch for further details. And if you'd like to continue the conversation we've been having today, or explore how these solutions can apply to your business, please don't hesitate to contact us. We'd be happy to connect. And we also really love running these sessions and want to keep improving them. So please keep an eye out for that feedback form I mentioned at the top. I would love to hear what you thought of today's session. Thanks again, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.